The heavy impact of bare feet striking training mats echoed throughout Desert Dragon Dojo on a bright Saturday afternoon in Phoenix, Arizona. The building sat between a hardware store and a tire shop, its simple exterior giving little hint of the discipline, sweat, and ambition that filled its walls every day. Inside, rows of students in white uniforms practiced kicks and combinations beneath hanging Japanese flags while proud parents watched from wooden benches along the far wall. At the center of attention stood 19-year-old Tyler Kim. Every eye in the dojo followed him. Tyler moved with speed and precision that seemed almost unreal. His spinning hook kick snapped through the air like a whip. His punches landed against the focus mitts with explosive force. Sweat glistened across his forehead as he performed combination after combination, drawing impressed murmurs from parents and younger students. "Again," shouted Master Kenji Sato. Tyler exploded forward. Free punches. A spinning back kick. A jumping roundhouse. The pad holder stumbled backward. Applause erupted throughout the room. Tyler smiled. Not a humble smile. A smile that said he knew exactly how good he was. Because he was good. At 19, Tyler had already won multiple regional championships. His social media videos attracted thousands of followers. Local newspapers had written articles about him. Younger students copied his hairstyles, his warm-up routines, even the way he tied his belt. The attention had become addictive, and over time, confidence had slowly become arrogance. Tyler glanced toward the parents section and noticed several phones recording him. That made him push even harder. Another spinning kick. Another burst of applause. His grin widened. Master Sato noticed it. The 72-year-old dojo owner had spent his entire life teaching martial arts. He could recognize talent instantly. He could also recognize danger. And the danger he saw wasn't another fighter. It was pride. Tyler bowed after finishing his demonstration. The room erupted again. Several students clapped enthusiastically. A few younger boys looked at him as though he were a superhero. Tyler soaked in every second of it. Then the front door opened. The applause slowly faded. A tall older man stepped inside. Nobody knew him. At first glance, he seemed completely out of place. He wore faded jeans, heavy black boots, a worn leather vest. His gray beard stretched down several inches across a weathered face marked by countless years beneath the desert sun. His hands looked rough enough to crush stone. A small patch sewn onto his vest revealed a faded motorcycle club insignia. The room immediately began making assumptions. Probably somebody's grandfather. Maybe a lost visitor. Maybe a mechanic looking for directions. Whatever he was, nobody believed he belonged in a karate dojo. The old biker calmly removed his sunglasses and surveyed the room. His expression remained completely relaxed. Master Sato froze. Only for a second, but Tyler noticed. The old master's face had suddenly become serious. Very serious. The biker nodded respectfully toward him. Master Sato returned the nod. Not casually. Respectfully. Almost formally. The exchange lasted less than 2 seconds. Most people missed it. Tyler did not. The old biker quietly took a seat near the back wall. He folded his arms and watched the training session. Nothing more. Nothing less. Tyler walked toward the water station while several students surrounded him with compliments. That spinning kick was insane. You would have destroyed anyone at state with that combination. Did you see everybody recording? Tyler smiled. Then his eyes drifted toward the old biker. An idea entered his mind. A stupid idea. The kind that usually sounds funny when surrounded by people encouraging your ego. Tyler pointed casually toward the man. Who's Grandpa Harley over there? Several students laughed. The biker didn't react. One parent chuckled. Another student added, maybe he got lost on the way to a biker bar. More laughter. Still no reaction. The old man simply sat there. Watching. Tyler enjoyed the attention. Maybe he's here to sign up. A few students laughed harder. Beginner class starts on Tuesdays. The group erupted again. Master Sato's voice cut through the room. Enough. Silence followed. The old master rarely raised his voice. When he did, people listened. Tyler shrugged. Just joking, sensei. Master Sato stared at him. Not angry. Disappointed. That somehow felt worse. The training session resumed. Yet Tyler kept glancing toward the biker. Something about the man's calmness bothered him. Most people reacted when mocked. Most people got offended. Most people tried to defend themselves. This man did none of those things. It was almost as though Tyler didn't exist. That irritated him. An hour later, students gathered for open sparring rounds. Protective gear appeared. Parents leaned forward. Phones emerged once again. This was usually Tyler's favorite part of the day. He dominated nearly everyone. One by one, opponents entered the sparring area. One by one, they lost. Tyler moved beautifully. Too beautifully. The crowd loved it. And Tyler loved the crowd loving it. After his fourth victory, he removed his headgear and raised his arms slightly. More applause. More smiles. More admiration. Then his eyes found the old biker again. Still sitting quietly. Still watching. Still not impressed. Tyler walked toward him. Several students immediately sensed trouble and followed. The room gradually grew quieter. Enjoying the show? Tyler asked. The old biker looked up. Very much. His voice was calm and surprisingly deep. Tyler expected something else. Some irritation. Some defensiveness. Nothing. Just calm. You ever train? The old biker nodded. A little. Students smirked. A little. The biker smiled. A very little. More laughter. Tyler folded his arms. What kind? Different kinds. The answer somehow irritated Tyler even more. Master Sato had stopped talking across the room. He was watching now. Closely. Tyler noticed. His ego interpreted that attention as encouragement. It wasn't. But he believed it was. You should spar. The old biker shook his head. No thanks. The answer only fueled Tyler further. Come on. No. You scared? A few students laughed nervously. The biker simply smiled. No. Then why not? Because I came to watch. Tyler looked around. The audience was paying attention now. Parents. Students. Everyone. His ego smelled opportunity. Maybe you're worried you'll get hurt. The biker said nothing. Tyler grinned. Or maybe you're worried you'll embarrass yourself. The room became uncomfortable. Several parents exchanged glances. Master Sato began walking toward them. Slowly. The biker remained seated. Still calm. Still relaxed. Still impossible to provoke. And somehow that made Tyler even more determined. If you're scared, just say you're scared. The words echoed through the dojo. Silence followed. A very different silence. Not amused. Not entertained. Uncomfortable. Master Sato stopped walking. His face hardened. For the first time all day, the old biker slowly stood. Every student watched. Every parent watched. The room suddenly felt much smaller. The biker looked directly at Tyler. His eyes were calm. Not angry. Not offended. Simply calm. 1 round. The words landed like a stone dropped into still water. Shock spread instantly. Several students gasped. Phones appeared. Parents sat forward. Whispers spread across the room. Tyler smiled. He believed he had won. Master Sato looked as though he wanted to stop everything. But he didn't. Because something else was happening. Something only he understood. The old biker removed his leather vest and folded it carefully. Then he placed it on a nearby chair. Several students expected to see an old body underneath. Instead, they saw something unexpected. The man was old, but he was not fragile. His shoulders remained broad. His arms remained powerful. Scars crossed both forearms. His posture was perfect. Balanced. Controlled. Dangerous. Master Sato quietly closed his eyes. As though accepting something inevitable, Tyler stepped onto the mat. Confident. Relaxed. Smiling. The old biker stepped across from him. No stance. No theatrics. No intimidation. Just calm. The room fell completely silent. Phones recorded. Students stared. Parents leaned forward. Nobody knew they were about to witness a lesson that would be remembered for years. The referee raised his hand. Ready? Tyler bounced lightly on his feet. The biker stood motionless. Begin. Tyler exploded forward instantly. Fast. Aggressive. Confident. Exactly what everyone expected. His first punch shot toward the old man's head. The biker moved. Barely. The punch missed. Tyler fired another. Missed. Then a third. Again the biker shifted. Only inches. Only enough. The movements seemed almost lazy. Tyler grew more aggressive. He launched a powerful roundhouse kick. The biker stepped slightly offline. The kick cut through empty air. For the first time all day, confusion appeared on Tyler's face. Only briefly. Then came the mistake. The one mistake. The mistake that ended everything. Tyler rushed forward again, determined to overwhelm him. The biker moved. A small angle change. One hand guiding. 1 foot repositioning. Nothing dramatic. Nothing flashy. Just perfect timing. Suddenly Tyler's balance disappeared. The world tilted. His feet left the ground. The next thing he knew, his back slammed against the mat. The impact knocked the air from his lungs. The entire exchange had lasted 7 seconds. 7 seconds. Silence consumed the dojo. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Nobody even seemed to breathe. Phones slowly lowered. Students stared. Parents stared. Tyler stared at the ceiling, trying to understand what had just happened. The biker stepped back immediately. No celebration. No victory pose. No smile. No mockery. Nothing. Just respect. Master Sato lowered his head, not in surprise, in recognition, because he had known exactly how this would end the moment the old biker walked through the door. And now the entire dojo knew something Tyler had never learned. Real strength rarely announces itself. It simply waits. And when the moment comes, it speaks for itself. For nearly 10 seconds after Tyler hit the mat, nobody moved. The silence felt unreal. A moment earlier, the dojo had been buzzing with confidence, excitement, and anticipation. Now it felt like someone had removed all the air from the room. Tyler lay staring at the ceiling. His lungs burned. His pride hurt worse. He replayed the exchange again and again inside his head. The punch, the missed kick, the strange shift, the sudden fall. Something didn't make sense. He was faster, stronger, younger, more athletic. Yet none of it had mattered. The old biker hadn't even looked strained. Hadn't even breathed hard. Had barely moved. That realization hurt more than the impact itself. Master Sato stepped forward. Enough. His voice snapped everyone back to reality. Phones slowly lowered. Students exchanged confused glances. Parents whispered among themselves. Tyler climbed to his feet. His face burned. He wanted another round. Needed another round. Because what had just happened couldn't be real. It couldn't. He looked directly at the biker. Again. The old man shook his head. No. The answer came calmly. Almost kindly. Tyler's frustration immediately flared. You got lucky. Several students nodded. A few wanted to believe that explanation. It was easier. Safer. The biker simply smiled. Maybe. That answer somehow irritated Tyler even more. Master Sato stepped between them. Enough. This time his voice carried steel. Tyler knew better than to argue. But the anger remained. The confusion remained. The humiliation remained. The old biker picked up his leather vest. He looked perfectly relaxed, as if nothing unusual had happened, as if dropping the dojo champion in 7 seconds was completely normal. Then Master Sato surprised everyone. He bowed, not casually, not as an instructor greeting a visitor. A deep formal bow. The room instantly became silent again, because nobody had ever seen Master Sato bow like that. Not once. Not to anyone. The biker returned the bow, with equal respect. The students stared. Tyler stared. The questions multiplied rapidly. Finally, one student spoke. Sensei? Master Sato turned. Yes. Who is he? The old instructor looked toward the biker, then back toward the room. His expression grew thoughtful, almost nostalgic. His name is Ryder Cole. Nobody reacted. The name meant nothing, at least initially. Then Master Sato continued. And everything changed. 40 years ago, Ryder Cole was one of the most respected full-contact fighters in America. The room went silent. Tyler blinked. Several students exchanged skeptical looks. The biker didn't look like a champion. He looked like somebody's grandfather. Master Sato ignored their expressions. He trained military units. Silence. He trained law enforcement. More silence. He competed in professional full-contact tournaments before most of you were born. A parent slowly lowered her phone. Another student looked confused. Tyler stared directly at Ryder, trying to find evidence that the story wasn't true. Trying to find something. Anything. Master Sato walked toward the trophy wall, then pointed toward an old photograph hidden near the top corner. Few students had ever paid attention to it. Most assumed it was some random historical picture. Today they looked closer. The photo showed a younger Master Sato, standing beside another man. A much younger man. Broad shoulders. Dark beard. Fighter's posture. Cold, determined eyes. Ryder. The realization spread through the room. Tyler felt his stomach tighten. Master Sato spoke quietly. We fought each other 38 years ago. The dojo erupted. What? No way. Seriously? Tyler's jaw slowly tightened. Master Sato almost smiled. It was not pleasant. Even Ryder laughed softly at that. The old instructor continued. I lost. The room immediately became silent again, because nobody could imagine Master Sato losing. Not the legend standing before them. Not the man who had taught generations of students. Yet here he was openly admitting it. Tyler looked toward Ryder, and for the first time all day, he felt something unfamiliar. Doubt. Not about Ryder. About himself. The official training session ended nearly an hour later. Most students left, but nobody went very far. Clusters of people remained throughout the building, talking, whispering, searching. Several students had already pulled out their phones, looking up Ryder's name. What they found stunned them. Old tournament photographs, magazine articles, training seminars, military combatives programs, law enforcement certifications. The evidence was everywhere. Master Sato had told the truth. Every word. Tyler sat alone near the edge of the mat. His confidence felt shattered. Not because he lost, because of how he lost. The old biker hadn't humiliated him, hadn't mocked him, hadn't celebrated. He simply won. That somehow felt worse. Across the room, Ryder sat quietly drinking coffee from a paper cup, completely detached from the attention. A younger student approached him. Then another. Then another. Questions started flying. Were you really a champion? How many fights did you have? Did you ever fight internationally? Ryder answered politely, briefly, never bragging, never exaggerating, never trying to impress anyone. Tyler noticed that, and it bothered him. Because if he had accomplished even half of those things, he would have talked about them constantly. Ryder seemed almost embarrassed by the attention. Eventually, the students drifted away, leaving Tyler alone with his thoughts. Master Sato sat beside him. Neither spoke immediately. Finally, Tyler broke the silence. You knew? Master Sato nodded. Yes. Why didn't you tell me? The old instructor looked toward him. Would you have listened? Tyler opened his mouth, then stopped. Because the answer was obvious. No, he wouldn't have listened. Not really. Master Sato sighed. Your problem is not talent. Tyler stared at the floor. I know. No. The old instructor shook his head. You do not. Tyler looked up. Master Sato's eyes were calm, but firm. The greatest threat to a fighter is not weakness. Silence. It is pride. Those words landed heavily, because Tyler knew they were true. Even before today, he just never wanted to admit it. The instructor pointed toward Ryder. You saw an old biker. Tyler nodded. You judged him. More silence. You never asked who he was. Tyler looked away. The shame felt uncomfortable. Master Sato continued. You thought a leather vest told you everything. The words hit harder than any punch, because they exposed the truth. Tyler hadn't judged Ryder based on skill, or character, or actions. He judged him based entirely on appearance. And he had been completely wrong. As evening approached, the dojo gradually emptied. Parents left. Students departed. The noise faded. Only a handful of people remained. Tyler was one of them. Ryder was another. The biker stood near the parking lot preparing to leave. His old Harley sat waiting beneath the fading Arizona sunset. Tyler watched him for several minutes, debating, thinking, arguing with himself. Part of him wanted to walk away, pretend none of this happened, protect his ego, protect his pride, protect the version of himself that existed before today. But another part knew he couldn't. Eventually, he forced himself forward. Each step felt heavier than the last. Ryder noticed him approaching, said nothing, simply waited. Tyler stopped beside the motorcycle. For several seconds, neither spoke. Then Tyler finally took a breath. I was a jerk. The words sounded awkward, uncomfortable, honest. Ryder smiled slightly. A little. Tyler almost laughed despite himself. The biker wasn't angry, wasn't bitter, wasn't interested in revenge. That somehow made the apology even harder. I shouldn't have said those things. No. I shouldn't have challenged you like that. No. Tyler rubbed the back of his neck. Embarrassed. I thought I knew everything. Ryder chuckled. That's normal at 19. The answer surprised him. No lecture. You already got one. Tyler looked toward the dojo. Master Sato watched from the doorway, smiling faintly. The biker nodded. Besides, life teaches better lessons than speeches. Tyler stood quietly. The sunset painted long shadows across the parking lot. Finally, he asked the question that had been bothering him all day. When did you know? Ryder looked confused. Know what? That you could beat me. The biker thought about it, then shrugged. I didn't. Tyler frowned. What? Ryder smiled. I knew I could handle myself. Silence. But I never underestimate anybody. The answer lingered. Because it contained exactly the lesson Tyler needed. Confidence without arrogance. Experience without ego. Strength without pride. The things he'd been missing. For the first time all day, Tyler felt something unexpected. Not humiliation. Gratitude. Because losing that match had shown him something he desperately needed to learn. And deep down he knew it. As Ryder climbed onto his motorcycle, Tyler spoke one final time. Would you teach me sometime? The biker paused. The engine hadn't started yet. The question hung in the evening air. Then Ryder smiled. A genuine smile. We'll see. The Harley roared to life. Students still inside the dojo turned toward the sound. The motorcycle rolled toward the street. The setting sun reflected across chrome and leather. Tyler watched until it disappeared from view. Then he stood alone in the parking lot. A different person than he had been that morning. Not because he lost, because he finally understood why he lost. And that lesson would change everything. Tyler arrived at the dojo before sunrise the following Monday. That alone shocked Master Sato. Normally, the 19-year-old arrived exactly on time. Never late, but never early. Today was different. The dojo lights were still off when Tyler pulled into the parking lot. The Arizona sky remained dark blue. The city had barely started waking up. Yet someone was already there. A motorcycle sat beside the building. Black. Old. Familiar. Tyler immediately recognized it. Ryder. The old biker leaned against the machine, drinking coffee from a metal thermos. He glanced up as Tyler approached. "You got lost." Tyler laughed. "No. Then you're early. I wanted extra training." Ryder nodded. "Why?" The question caught Tyler off guard. "To get better." The biker shook his head. "Wrong answer." Tyler frowned. "What? You were already getting better." Silence. "Try again." The younger man thought carefully. For the first time in his life, he actually considered the reason before speaking. Finally, he answered, "I want to learn." Ryder smiled. "There it is." The dojo remained closed for another 30 minutes. So they trained outside. No audience. No phones. No applause. No spectators. Just asphalt. Morning air. And lessons. The first lesson surprised Tyler. Ryder never threw a punch. Not once. Instead, he spent 45 minutes teaching balance. Foot placement. Weight transfer. Positioning. Tiny details. Things Tyler had overlooked for years. Things that suddenly explained why he had ended up flat on his back. By the time the sun rose above the city, Tyler felt like he had learned more than he had during the previous 6 months. And nobody had even sparred. The new routine continued. Day after day, week after week. Tyler arrived early. Ryder arrived earlier. The lessons slowly expanded. Some involved martial arts. Many did not. Patience, discipline, humility, awareness, responsibility. The old biker seemed more interested in building character than building fighters. At first, Tyler found that frustrating. Eventually, he understood why. Character lasted longer. Word spread quickly throughout the dojo. Students noticed changes. Tyler stopped showing off. Stopped mocking people. Stopped chasing attention. When newer students struggled, he helped them. When younger children made mistakes, he encouraged them. The transformation surprised everyone, including Master Sato. One afternoon, the old instructor watched Tyler spend nearly an hour helping a nervous beginner learn a simple stance. When the class ended, Master Sato approached him. "Who are you?" Tyler laughed. "I don't know anymore." The instructor smiled. "Good." That answer confused him. Master Sato explained. "The day you think you know everything is the day you stop growing." Tyler immediately recognized the lesson. It sounded exactly like something Ryder would say. The realization made him smile. 3 months later, Desert Dragon Dojo hosted its annual state invitational tournament. Competitors arrived from across Arizona. Some traveled hundreds of miles. The event filled the building. Parents packed the bleachers. Officials crowded the sidelines. Photographers moved through the aisles. The atmosphere buzzed with energy. Tyler stood among the competitors preparing for his first match. This time felt different. Every previous tournament had revolved around one thing: winning. Today something had changed. Winning still mattered, but it wasn't everything. For the first time he felt calm, genuinely calm. His first match began shortly after 10 o'clock. The opponent was talented, fast, aggressive, confident. The old Tyler would have tried to overwhelm him, would have forced the action, would have chased a highlight reel finish. Instead, Tyler stayed patient, controlled, focused. The lessons from Ryder appeared naturally. Small movements, better positioning, better timing. Less ego, more awareness. He won comfortably, not spectacularly, simply effectively. As the day progressed, the victories continued. One match, then another, then another. By late afternoon, Tyler stood in the championship round. The crowd filled every seat. The atmosphere felt electric. Across the gymnasium, his final opponent stretched quietly. A national-ranked fighter. Dangerous. Experienced. The kind of competitor Tyler once feared. Not anymore. The final match lasted nearly 6 minutes. Longer than anyone expected. Neither fighter could establish control. Both adjusted constantly. Both remained disciplined. The crowd hung on every exchange. Near the end, Tyler found an opening. Not through aggression. Through patience. One clean technique. One perfect moment. One earned point. The buzzer sounded seconds later. Victory. The crowd erupted. Students cheered. Parents applauded. Master Sato smiled proudly. But Tyler's first instinct wasn't celebration. His eyes searched the audience, looking for someone. Eventually he found him, standing quietly near the back wall. Ryder. Exactly where he always stood. Away from attention. Away from recognition. Watching. Tyler bowed toward him. The old biker returned the gesture. Nothing more. Nothing less. Yet somehow it meant everything. After the tournament, reporters surrounded Tyler. The championship victory attracted attention. Microphones appeared. Cameras rolled. Questions flew from every direction. Most focused on his recent improvement. The transformation had become impossible to ignore. What changed? Why do you seem different this year? What's been the secret? Tyler looked toward the back of the room again. Ryder was already trying to leave. Of course he was. The biker hated attention. Tyler laughed softly, then answered, I met a teacher. Several reporters looked confused. You already had a teacher. I got another one. More confusion. Who? Tyler smiled. The guy trying to sneak out the back door. Every camera immediately turned. Ryder froze. The entire gymnasium laughed. The old biker looked genuinely annoyed, which only made the laughter louder. Within minutes, reporters surrounded him too. Questions came from every direction. The biker hated every second of it. But eventually someone asked something interesting. What did you teach him? Ryder thought carefully, then answered, nothing. The reporters looked confused. So why is he saying you changed his life? The biker shrugged. I didn't teach him. Silence. He finally became willing to learn. The room became unexpectedly quiet, because everyone understood. The lesson wasn't about martial arts. It never had been. It was about growth. And growth only happens when pride gets out of the way. Later that evening, Master Sato invited Ryder and Tyler to dinner. The three men sat together inside a small Japanese restaurant. For several hours they talked. Shared stories. Laughed. Remembered old memories. Created new ones. At one point Tyler looked around the table. Master Sato on one side. Ryder on the other. Two completely different men. Two completely different worlds. Yet somehow both had shaped him. The realization felt powerful. He silently promised himself he would never forget it. 1 year later, the dojo looked exactly the same. Yet everything felt different. New students filled the training floor. Young children practiced basic techniques. Teenagers prepared for competitions. Parents watched from the benches. Life continued. As it always does. Tyler now helped teach beginner classes. The role suited him. Not because he enjoyed authority. Because he remembered what it felt like to need guidance. One afternoon, a talented young student named Jason finished a sparring session. The boy looked remarkably familiar. Confident. Skilled. A little too confident. A little too skilled. Tyler recognized the signs immediately. Because he used to be exactly the same. Jason pointed toward an older visitor standing near the entrance. A retired military veteran observing the class. The teenager smirked. I could probably take that guy. Several students laughed. The moment felt strangely familiar. Painfully familiar. Tyler almost laughed himself. Instead, he walked over. The students fell silent. They expected a lecture. They expected discipline. They expected punishment. Instead, Tyler smiled. You know what? Jason looked surprised. What? Let me tell you a story. The students gathered around. Curious. Interested. Listening. Across the room, Master Sato watched quietly. A smile slowly appeared. Because he already knew the story. And he knew exactly how it ended. Near the entrance, Ryder sat in his usual chair. Older. Still calm. Still observant. Still completely unimpressed by attention. Tyler glanced toward him. Then began telling the story. The story about a young black belt. An old biker. 7 seconds. And a lesson that changed everything. Outside, the Arizona sun slowly disappeared below the horizon. Inside, another generation listened. Another generation learned. And another generation grew. Not because of trophies. Not because of championships. Not because of victories. Because of humility. Because of respect. Because strength without character means nothing. As the lesson continued, Ryder quietly stood and headed toward the door. No applause followed him. No crowd gathered. No spotlight appeared. Exactly the way he preferred it. Before leaving, he glanced back one final time. Tyler caught the look. Both men nodded. Nothing needed to be said. The lesson had been passed on. The cycle would continue. And somewhere in the future, another talented young fighter would learn the same truth. The strongest person in the room is usually the one with nothing left to prove.